It's my fault. I know, I'm sorry. It's just, I got all paranoid that you guys would move on and start doing rich stuff, and I never see you guys again because you'd be going to Eyes Wide Shut parties or hunting people for sport with Tommy Hilfiger or whatever rich people are supposed to do.
I don't know that quote.
I don't think either of you do.
It feels like an Adam Sandler movie.
I don't think you know it.
No.
I am giving my shout out to a show that I wish was on our bracket here for the most rewatchable. It's called Happy Endings.
Oh, yeah. You've told me about that show.
Yes, it is a fantastic show. And it is one of my most rewatchable, but is not on the list of our brackets because I can't get your guys' input on it because you guys don't know how great it is. So I had to plug it somewhere. Anyway, welcome to our Utterly Useless podcast, making your time utterly useful. With me, across the table from me, I don't have any fancy intro. I thought about it for like 2 seconds yesterday, and then it disappeared because I got distracted.
Squirrel
Is Timmy Criddle. Oh, he's also Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Actually, according to his shirt, he's welcoming you into the Big 12.
Oh, yes, he is.
Welcome.
Criddle's wearing a BYU shirt, and the news last week broke. Was it? It was last week?
Yeah, it was about last week.
About
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah.
Last Friday.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Guess it was a while ago. Or, yeah. And obviously, me being a U fan, we're now in the Big 12 too. Crazy, crazy stuff. And then to the right of me, my bigger brother,
Oh.
Brett Williams.
Hello.
And then with you is me, Jeremy Williams. I'm here always. Let's move on.
All right, merit badges. What do we got?
All right, I'll start off with merit badge. So my merit badge is called, is called Ready Player Exercise.
All right. Oh, I think okay.
Yeah, you probably know.
okay.
You probably know what it is.
All right.
So I bought a while back a VR headset, an Oculus Quest, just for the purpose of working out. And I have to say, I succeeded. Like, I actually work out. It's fun. I don't know why anybody would pay. Like, I was thinking about this. I'm like, people pay thousands of dollars for those bicycles. What are they called?
Peloton?
Pelotons and all that stuff. And then they have to have a subscription on top of that.
Yeah.
So now you're paying like $30 a month. You already paid $1,000 plus money for the bike. I paid around $200 for an Oculus Quest. Depending on if you do monthly, annually, and all that stuff, the subscription, it can be like somewhere around $10 to $15. And it's fun. You get to hear the music that you know. It's not any kind of weird music, which if you ever heard of Beat Saber, unless you pay extra, you don't know any of the songs. But it's a really good workout. Like I enjoy it. It is like I do the 30-minute ones, and like, yeah, you get tired and you get sore by the end of it, and it's fun. It like passes the time in a fun way. Although, like just like about any time I exercise, I don't know if you experience this, Brett, or like when you exercise, like when you do aerobic or something, you're like, I'm hating this now that I'm doing this. Like I'm in this, but I'm gonna finish it, and like so some of the songs, I'm like, I hate this song now because it needs to finish.
Well, oh, okay. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
It just keeps going. And you're like, no. Like, they played, I want to say Freebird or something like that. Leonard Skinner Freebird. And that song's a really long song. And it just kept going.
Yeah. Well, one of these days we need to just sit down and just do like a merit badge off. Just kind of sit there, and that being like the whole podcast is just kind of, we went on our scout camp or whatever, and just keep on relaying it, because you reminded me of something that happened a while ago. It's not my merit badge, but I agree with you. Like, why do Peloton? I discovered a couple of YouTube channels where that's all they do is they just do body weight aerobic stuff. And I'm like, why would I pay? Like, I'm looking to get rid of my treadmill. So if either of you two are in the market for a free treadmill, I have one. It only costs you to get it out of my place. And then the funny thing about it was, and this is where the merit badge would have come from, but I do have a merit badge for today, is after a while, YouTube started thinking, because the two channels I follow most are Korean made. So it started, most of the music is K-pop. And so YouTube started thinking that I really like K-pop. So it started recommending me all these K-pop videos. I'm like, no, I just exercise.
You like BTS? Come on. But yeah, I think it's fun. So to give a plug out for the app is called Supernatural, which I think that's just a weird name for an exercise app. I will put that out there. But it's fun because I've hardly ever been to the same location twice. Mm-hmm. Like when they do the where you are working out. I was in Utah once. I thought, and I was like, I've never heard of this place, and so I had to look it up. I forgot what peak it was, but it's really cool. And you do Beat Saber kind of stuff, or there's a boxing one. That one wears me out faster than the Beat Saber one does. So,
well, I would like for the Oculus to do, or maybe you can do this as you're a programmer. Create the John Wick workout.
Just a lot of shooting and rolling around.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Just take it outside. That'd be great.
That would be fun. But yeah, that's my merit badge.
All right. Well, I'll go next. Mine's not a merit badge. I'm earning it today, and it is the 4 months procrastination pin.
Ooh.
So I told you guys last week that I had bought a computer a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Today's the day I'm going to open it.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
You know what? I could never earn this merit badge. Never in a million years. If I bought a computer, it'd be open and running like the second I get home, if not earlier.
I don't know why. It just, life got in the way. And so I am going to break the seal today and
take off all that
plastic very slowly, just satisfying.
Playing some music in the background.
Yep. Booting it up for the first time. That fresh computer smell.
Now, this is a Mac, right?
It's a Mac.
Is this your first Mac?
My first Mac.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so you have to listen to Endless Love in the dark.
Well, that'll be fun. That'll be a fun experience. Are you used to Macs at all?
Yes, we have a desktop,
okay.
a Mac desktop, and it's amazing. And
okay.
So I'm looking forward to the mobile features of a laptop.
Oh, yes.
I'm excited.
When he said that he has, he's been procrastinating this for a while and he has a desktop, it reminded me of in my brain went, he probably has one of those the multicolor old tube versions of the Mac.
Oh, yes. Those. I forgot what they're called. I think they were just called iMacs, weren't they?
Yeah,
but they were back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
I instantly think of Zoolander when I think of
Oh,
those.
yes. The files are inside the computer. They're in the computer? Oh, man. That's funny, though.
4 months, pin. Woohoo!
All right.
All right, Brett.
All right. So I don't know how to explain this one. I knew it was a merit badge the instant it happened, and it is so weird. I want to call it the fake eating merit badge. I'm not.
I'm like, the only time I could think of fake eating is when I pretended to eat olives back when I was a kid.
It's either the fake eating or practicing eating merit badge. I have no idea what to call it, but it was so weird. So right where I live, they're doing some construction, kind of the city of holidays building themselves up. They're revamping so many businesses and whatnot. And there's this one corner strip mall that they, took out a gas station, did this. And I've just been watching it as I go out on my daily walks. And then about a month ago, they put up a Cafe Rio sign. I'm like, oh, there's a Cafe Rio that's going to be put there. That's neat. And so as I've, slowly just watching this thing come to form, I'm just like, okay. So the other day, I was just like, out of the clear blue, I'm walking past and people are eating on the patio. They're eating inside. And I'm like, when did this thing open? It wasn't open yesterday. It wasn't open last week. When did this thing open? And as I'm walking by, there's all these people staring at me with the looks of go away. And in the door, there is a sign that says, "We are not open. Please do not ask for food." And so I'm like, so what's going on? Because there's people eating. Is this pretend eating? Are they pretending to?
They're there to drive a crowd later.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, hey, I want to eat food. I can't go today, but maybe tomorrow. What? And so I was just like, yeah. And so like, what is it? The very next day, they had a partial grand opening. And I'm like, as I was walking by, and they're trying to get me in, I'm like, I don't know if I can trust you.
Yesterday, you can't eat here. Today, you can.
Exactly.
That's funny. That's weird that there were so many people outside.
Yeah, and I was sitting there like, and as I was like looking at the people, I'm like, so are these like the workers that are going to be working here? Who are these people? What is their life story? It really started like fascinating me.
Was this a crowd that looked like they all were different people, like the Breakfast Club kind of situation?
Oh yeah, it was a variety of everybody. It's just like, so do you work here? Were you a construction worker that helped build this? Or were you just some person and they're just like, hey, would you like to pretend to eat food?
We're trying to get people to come here, but not yet. Don't be too inspiring.
Exactly.
Somehow inspire a day later, though. That's
so funny. Yeah, I have no idea what they call it, but I just remember I was like, this is my merit badge right here. I have no idea what's going on, but this is weird.
That's funny.
Spin the wheel.
All right, we have Spin the Wheel, where we have 10 categories of questions. We're going to spin the wheel and decide who is going to be asking what. And I will go first. I have random question. Okay. So you are given a gadget, like a watch or something, that will make you invisible for only one day, and then it'll self-destruct. How would you use that invisibility?
Let's see. I think, an old-fashioned casing of a place would have to go underway. I mean...
What are you going to case?
I don't know, but I would be... I might just kind of like, the day before, I would have to write down, watch a whole bunch of heist movies and stuff like that, and just kind of go down, and then I'd be like, okay, well, I think I'm gonna have to do this trial by error because I need to be invisible, but if the things that I touch aren't visible, I can't steal stuff like that. So what I'm gonna have to do is I might have to do some white collar crime. So I might have to start casing and watching the employees at banks, and then kind of funnel money into either my bank or an offshore account so that it can't be traced. So I'm gonna have to do a whole bunch of research and nefariousness.
What if you, as the bank teller's typing in an account number, you just keep on typing in yours, and they accidentally put money into your account?
Ooh.
Or you could run computers from back there, invisible.
So I think massive amount of research would have to go into this, and it's not one of those things that I would go in lightly. It's just like, hey, and then also, what can I live with myself doing? Also,
Exactly. Cradle, what about you?
If I'm not looking at it from a financial personal gain standpoint, I think I'd use it for like a football game that I want to get into, but I can't get tickets. So I just try and sneak in.
You're just on the field. Nobody obviously can see you.
Exactly. Yeah, just watch it from the sideline.
Oh,
I wonder if you could.
oh, I love that. Yes. Okay. So here's what I would do. You've just changed my
Are you
mind.
going to go to Fenway Park?
No, what I'm going to do is I am going to basically, so one of my favorite things about the Super Bowl is weird prop bets. And there is a prop bet on what the color Gatorade that is going to be poured on the Coke.
There you go.
I would basically select the color, and then I would on purpose it doesn't matter. I would make sure that it was the color
You
that
just carry food dye.
exactly.
Because it's small enough that even if it was floating, if you held it close to the ground, nobody would suspect anything.
Exactly. And some little kid would probably see it. Mama, look, that little bottle floated. Like, that's nice, dear.
We're paid lots of money to be here this game. Watch the game.
Which is sad because generally the lower bowl are the people that are like the corporate people who actually don't care about sports.
Yeah. Whenever I see a kid in any sporting event and I see a kid on the first floor, or on the first row, I'm just like, why did you bring him? Like, especially when it's a kid that doesn't really know what's going on so much. Or it's a girl and she's on her phone. It's like,
They couldn't get a babysitter.
exactly. But instead they pay like $1,000 to babysit the child here. But I like that because I find almost very little immorality. Or you could just go, or could you just go peek at what color it is and bet on it?
I mean, I guess you could because the instant the game starts, that's when all of those prop bets are
that's true.
sealed off.
That's true. I guess, yep, you would have to make it that way. And you'd have to I'd just pick red and then make sure I had red dye. Because obviously red dye is probably strong enough to turn anything red.
I mean, it'd be interesting because like I think
Or do the other. Because other, isn't that like a long shot bet?
well, because like, yeah, because think about it. If it's other, what you could do is you could bank on it being purple because if it's red, you'd have to squirt blue in and it turned purple. If it's blue, you squirt red in and it turned purple. If it was clear, you squirt purple in and it turns purple. So
You just have a little rotating little
There you go.
food dye thing. I like this. My only thoughts are with this, as we were talking about, as you brought up sneaking into something. I was like, I would like to sneak into the White House and just walk around and like follow the president around and see all the things, like all the like hidden things in the White
So
House.
you're the one that planted the cocaine in the White House. Gotcha.
Yep, exactly. That would be just so fun. Just be complete. My heart would be beating like the whole time, really hard. Be like, I'm not supposed to be in here.
Secret Service is just here's a creek. Like, oh, that's so good that they didn't realize I was crawling on all fours.
Everyone's like, oh, meow.
This isn't like when you wear this watch. It's not like you have your clothes get invisible too, right?
Yeah, everything's so
Anything.
you don't have to be naked when you come out of it.
Excellent. That'd be even weirder.
Yeah, it'd be funny. They shoot you, you're dead. And all of a sudden, like after the 24-hour clock's like, oh, there's a body there. Where did that come from?
All right.
All right, let's move on. And the next person is Criddle, and you get Kiss, Marry, Kill.
We have here for today Michael Keaton Batman, George Clooney Batman, Val Kilmer Batman.
Well, I'm marrying Michael Keaton Batman. I am kissing. I'm going to just do the Clooney. I'm going to kiss the Clooney and kill Val Kilmer.
Oh,
I know.
interesting. So
Even though I heard just recently Val Kilmer is a very nice human being. So
he is now,
he is now. He wasn't.
he wasn't way back when.
Oh.
Having a horrific health-altering disease gives you perspective on life. I would actually, again, marry Michael Keaton. I think I'd kiss Val Kilmer, and because I've not seen Batman and Robin,
You've not seen
I've
Batman?
not seen Batman and Robin.
Wow.
I bought it. During COVID when there was nothing coming out and iTunes was desperate to get money. I only wanted Batman Returns, and I didn't want any of the other ones. But you either paid $20 for one or you paid $20 for all four. So I just told myself, I'm buying two of them, $10 a piece, and they're throwing in two extras that I might not ever watch.
Batman and Robin's the reason Batman Begins got made.
Oh, really? I didn't know
really?
that.
Yeah, it was so bad that they had to
Oh
reboot
yes,
it.
yes. I mean that's valid. That's valid. I heard that the director actually like publicly apologized for how bad that movie was.
Yeah, bat nipples.
Yep. All right, Brett, you're up next, and you get what if?
All right, so this is kind of a similar question, oddly, to what you had. It says, what if you had a magical power to pause time, but for every 1 minute you pause time, you aged 3 months?
Ugh.
How often would you use it? And actually, more importantly, what situations would you use it?
Pause time. I would only use it for emergencies at this point.
So if I pause it for 30 seconds, it would be a month and a half.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I would only be pausing it for emergencies. Like if I saw my kid run out in front of a car, pew, pause.
You wouldn't use it for joking purposes where you're just
No.
like, you see a situation and you're just like, okay, it'll be so worth it to be aged up 3 months or maybe 6 months, depending on how long it takes you to do everything.
Yeah. And go and pull his pants in and then just go grab some feathers and throw it out there.
3 months of my life. That was worth it.
That was worth it. You will never understand how much I gave for this joke.
That'd be so funny. Everybody like turns and looks at you and suddenly you appear right back. You're like, how'd you get that beard?
Yeah, did your facial hair grow?
Yeah.
That would be funny in itself right there.
Your wife. You used the watch again, didn't you?
No.
Use the device.
What did you do? Well, don't worry. I recorded it.
That'd be funny. Like you're public speaking or something. You're like, I'm going to pause right now and just freak everybody out. Pause, come back, and you have a beard. And people are like, whoa.
Okay,
But-
this one I'd use for personal gain, financial gain.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I would do.
I bet you I will have a mullet. Blink. I want you to blink for 1 long second. And when you open your eyes, I will have a
I'll
mullet.
bet you $100,000 I'll have a mullet.
Or you start off with a mullet and say, do you like it? And like, no, I don't. And it pause. And then it grows out and you shave your head and then you're like, okay, boom. Whoa, how'd you get rid of that? Magic. You couldn't really make money out of it like a magician, because I feel like if you had nightly shows, you're going to be dead soon.
Yeah.
It'd be a one-night event.
Yeah. It's a one-night event. Everybody come around. I'm going to show you how I'm going to pull all your pants down in the audience.
And now you're 50.
Worth it. Oh, that's funny. All right. Let's see. I guess I'm next. I get lick off. All right. So it was funny. Me and my son Jude were talking, and he gave me this idea. So in Seattle, I don't know how much you guys are aware, but there's a wall that is covered with gum.
Oh, yeah.
How much would you, lick off? You're going to lick 6 inches of that wall.
Oh. Has it been raining? Because it is Seattle.
It is Seattle. It's probably always moist.
Moist.
I'm going to start off with $2 million.
And then just to give everybody, the listeners and you guys, when I walk down this alley that is covered in gum, it's kind of gross that you can breathe in the flavors.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the fruitiness, the mintiness, it all mixes together, and you're like, ugh, what?
One culinary
Yes.
experience. Let's see. Licking a gum wall. We'll go $1.8 million.
Okay. $1.2 million.
We'll go $500,000.
Oh.
Ooh, big drop.
Quarter.
He's got a quarter. Just kidding.
$250,000. Okay. 100,000.
100,000. $75,000.
25,000.
20,000.
20,000.
10,000.
You may lick that wall.
Sure.
Yeah, I know. You were gonna probably do it for $50.
I was gonna go as low as probably 100.
$100?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I might go to like 1,000, maybe 500 if I'm feeling randy. But wow, 10,000?
10.
That's good money for 6 inches of licking.
Not bad.
All right. Next is Criddle, and you got Could You Fight It?
Da-na-na, da-na-na. Tonight, it can only be described as a Clash of the Titans main event. It's Godzilla vs. Kong, David vs. Goliath, Megazord vs. Dragonzord, Batman vs. the Joker in a sudden death match of dodgeball. It's you versus White Goodman of Global Gym. Ooh, Ouchtown, Population U, bruh. All this and much more tonight on ESPN 8, The Ocho. Could you fight him?
Yeah. Well, you're talking about dodgeball fight.
Dodgeball fight.
Yeah.
Oh, good, because I was worried about breakdancing fight.
Yeah. Breakdancing fight. I lose. Yeah. I love dodgeball.
Oh yeah,
I played it a ton as a kid. I feel like, I don't know. Hopefully my, what is it called? What do they call it? Your muscle memory or whatever is still good. And, the good bouncy balls. I wonder what... I didn't look at the balls when I watched the movie. I wonder if they're that kind of got that texture on the outside.
I know the ones that we use in elementary school now are what are called gator balls, which are basically they're Nerf on the inside with a kind of a thicker plastic covering on the outside.
Oh, that seems safer.
A plastic covering?
It's kind of, yeah. I mean, it's not like hard plastic; it's soft plastic, so it gives.
That's too safe. We're going with like the 90s bladder balls that
You're talking about like kickball kind of style.
kickballs, yeah.
Yeah, I'd prefer it with kickball style. I could take him. I could take him. I mean, I'm going to use probably I want to gauge how good he is, and so I'm going to take the beating and use one ball as a shield for a little while.
He's going to have the full, White Goodman look, the Global Gym.
But also, he's short. I don't know how that impacts
He doesn't have
with
Michelle.
dodgeball. In dodgeball, is height an advantage or disadvantage?
I don't know. My strategy is I always go for the feet.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's true because it's harder to catch down there. So I guess height would be a disadvantage there.
Yeah,
'cause
it probably would be.
And then you have more of a target.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you going to do it?
Oh yeah. Wait, just 1 second. Will I have I don't know what the character's name, but Jason Bateman as the color commentator?
Absolutely. yes.
Excellent. Yes, because if he was not there, I'd actually have to decline.
I don't know, Colin.
Bold move.
Bold move, Cotton.
Or Cotton, that's right. Let's see here. And Brett, you're finishing us off with what would you have done?
All right, so this is a real life scenario, and it kind of mirrors last week's "What Would You Have Done," except differently. I basically, presented you with a raffle or what is it? Not a raffle ticket.
A lottery ticket.
Lottery ticket. So you are at a store, a hobby store. A whole bunch of things are generally priced $3.99. You see on the shelf something that is not $3.99, but if you just take it and you walk up to the counter, they will charge you $3.99 for it. It will at least be worth $50, if not more. Do you walk away, or do you take that item, walk up? Because there's no price on it, but it's just assumed that every single thing on this shelf is $3.99.
And they know it came off that shelf?
They know it came off that shelf.
I've done this before.
This is like Hobby Lobby where they don't have barcodes for some reason.
Yeah, that is so weird.
Yeah, they have a belief that it's like of the devil. So, yeah.
So I've done this before in my last job, and I would order from our food supplier, and there were lots of times in where I saw prices of items, food items that would be priced wrong. But I would be honest with our rep, and he would say that the companies are responsible for their pricing, and so it's not on him, it's not on the company. So it's on the supplier that provided the item, and so I ended up buying like a $260 case of meat for $26 because they forgot to add a zero.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
So, and I would buy like 10 cases of it.
Oh, jeez. That's awesome.
So I did my due diligence, and I didn't feel guilty about it at all. So I would if it's on the shelf, yes, I'll go there and say, all right, no guilt, not my problem.
Most of the time, to be honest, though, I give them my items and I don't hover and check what things are scanned out. I wonder how many times I've been screwed out of that, or how many times I've got a good thing out of it. I would just be like, are you sure it's that much? And if they go, yeah, I'd be like, okay. Just, doing my somewhat due diligence.
It's on them, not me.
Yeah. I guess that's my immorality, I guess, right there. I do a little bit of like, is that what does this cost? This is $3.99? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we could be Karens and go, I think it's lower.
Yeah. It reminds me of, I don't know if mom or dad told you this story, Brett, but so my parents, they were going to give me a new like hand drill for my birthday because my last one broke. And they found one online that they were like, oh, this is the one that Jeremy wants. That would be good for him. So they took a screenshot of it, and it was a really weird screenshot that they took. Mm-hmm. And somehow it made it look like the price of the one that they were going to get me was attached to like a better deal. And it came with two like hand drills. Or power drills and like all this other stuff. So they brought it to Home Depot, and my mom went to buy it, and she goes, hey, I'm looking for this. And she points to the nicer one, like, oh, it's right there. So she gets it, and then she checks out. It's like, wait a minute. It says right here, this is only this much. And you're saying here it's this much. And so they got the manager over, and they're like, yeah, it does say it's only this much. And so they discounted it down to that price, which was over like $100 off.
Wow.
Oh.
And so my mom didn't realize what she had done until about like a week or two later when she gave me the gift. And so she showed me, she's like, oh, look at this. Like I for some reason, I'm like, that's because that money amount is for the picture above it. I mean, the lesser amount is for the picture above it. And that one is the one number below it.
Oh, it's not on you.
Yeah, it's not on me. So I was like, oh, I didn't do it. And she's like, oh well.
She got a deal.
She got a deal, and I got the benefits of it.
Nice.
So, yeah, unfortunately, I do it. All right. Now, this is a new segment, maybe a one-time only segment, because honestly, the content is probably only one time. This is called The Price is Wrong, Bob. All right. So I don't know how much you guys are aware, but upcoming to Salt Lake is Fan X, a.k.a. Utah's Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. So I was just bored and started flipping through. I'm like, oh, who's coming? I want to know who's coming to Utah because I always find that interesting. And then I saw the values of how much it costs to take a picture or an autograph with somebody. I don't know if you've ever looked at those.
I have not.
So, well, that's perfect then, because we're going to find out if these things are worth it or not.
Oh, my goodness.
So, and we're going to compare. So, who do you think is going to cost more? Karen Gillian, Grant Austin, that's the TV's Flash, I believe.
Oh, Grant Gustin. Okay.
Is it Gustin?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I must have wrote it down wrong. Or Joel McHale.
Oh.
Who's going to be the
Who's
most?
The most expensive. And if you want to put them in order, that'd be great too.
All right. I will put it in order. I'm going to go with Karen Gillan, followed by Joel McHale, and ending in Grant Gustin.
I'm going to go Karen, Grant, Joe.
You both are incorrect.
Oh,
Number 1 is Grant. $110.
I like the Flash. I would not pay $110.
Just to get a picture with him?
I think I didn't write down both their numbers, but usually when I was looking through it, they're an autograph or a picture were the same price.
Okay.
What?
I would pay neither of that for that.
No.
Karen is $80.
I wouldn't mind getting either a Nebula or a Doctor Who picture or autograph for her.
Or a Jumanji.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
And then Joel McHale is $50. All right. And now we are going to do combinations because they are doing like groups. So I'm not like group pictures, but like, so there's a lot of the same people from the same shows coming down.
Okay.
And so I added them up to see, who you think, and I'll tell you who exactly out of these groups are coming. Who do you think would cost more to take a picture with, adding all these together? Would it be Saved by the Bell cast? So that means, Slater, Jesse, and I can't remember the main guy.
Zach.
Zach, yeah. So those 3. Or 2 girls from Clueless, Alicia Silverstone, and then her friend. I can't remember her name in the show at all.
I can't help you because I've never seen it.
Yeah. But you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I know.
Okay.
I think I know what you're talking about. Oh, that's so disappointing.
Between those two?
Yeah.
Ah.
Which one costs more? Would it be Saved by the Bell, those 3, versus Clueless, those 2?
I think Clueless because of Alicia Silverstone.
I'll go with Saved by the Bell.
It is Saved by the Bell.
Oh.
So each Saved by the Bell cast is $50.
Uh-huh.
And then Alicia Silverstone is $70 and her friend is $50.
Okay. That's a shame. I would totally be all over the Saved by the Bell if it was either, instead of Jesse, Lisa, or Kelly Kapowski. Especially Kelly Kapowski.
Yeah, especially. All right. Another one. This group is Back to the Future cast
Ooh.
versus Supernatural cast.
Back to the Future.
So Back to the Future includes Michael J. Fox, Leah Thompson, Christopher Lloyd, and then if you're not familiar, Tom Wilson is Biff. And Leah Thompson, just for the listeners, is that's his girlfriend. Michael J. Fox's girlfriend.
Yeah.
All right, so that's that. And then Supernatural, that's the one I said, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this, I threw her into the mix because she is on Supernatural, but she also is more popular from The Walking Dead. Lauren Cohen, who is Maggie. Jared Padalecki, who is Sam. Genevieve Padalecki, his wife, and also one of the demons in the show. And then Samantha Smith, which is the mom of the Winchester boys.
I'm going with Back to the Future.
So it is 4 against 4 on here, just so you know, so that it does add up.
I mean, the power couple is obviously Jared Padalecki and Maggie from The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm going to go with Back to the Future just because that is, yeah.
It's so heavily ingrained in pop culture. Like, yeah, I don't know.
All right, you both are correct. It is Back to the Future. Back to the Future totals $465. Supernatural $330. So,
Jeez.
the two highest. Number 1, who do you think the highest person is out of both those groups?
Ooh. I almost want to say Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, I'd say Michael J. Fox.
Yep, Michael J. Fox is, and he is the absolute highest of this whole event. $225.
Have mercy.
And then the next person out of Back to the Future versus Supernatural is Jared Padalecki at 140.
Yeah, I was going to say that would be the next highest one.
Then Christopher Lloyd at 120. So
That's nice. He discounts it.
yeah, I was like, oh, Christopher Lloyd. If you get his, Leah Thompson, and Biff's, Tom Wilson's all together, you're about what it costs to get Michael J. Fox's.
I would rather go for the 3, especially I don't know about you guys. I like Michael J. Fox in that movie. I love Christopher Lloyd.
Oh yes,
Like his character is just fantastic.
not only that, this world is going to be sad one day when Christopher Lloyd leaves it.
Exactly. That's gonna be heavy.
Is everything heavier in the future? Is there a weight problem in the future?
Is there a weight problem in the future?
All right, last one here. So we're going to do Smallville versus the original movie Scream. So Smallville includes Kristen Cruick, which is, what's her name?
Lana.
Lana Lane, yep. And then there is Michael Rosenbaum, who is Lex Luthor.
Who has a fantastic podcast.
Yep.
Amen.
Tom Welling, who is Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Abel. Why am I not remembering who that is?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I wrote it down. I might have been wrong. Maybe he's not with Smallville. I don't know. And then John Glover, who is Lex's dad. Let me find out.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Lionel. Ooh. I think he was probably the sneaky one of the better characters in Smallville.
He really was. Like, to this day, I still think about when he went blind and then when he regained his sight and how they figured out that his sight had come back.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is one. Hold on, let me just stop. Oh, Jake Abel is the wrong guy. He was supposed to be included in the Smallville. I mean, into Supernatural. That was my typo. He is the guy who plays Michael.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think he's their like half brother.
Okay.
So I guess, but still, Smallville, Supernatural still loses to Back to the Future. So it doesn't change anything. All right. And so we're doing that Smallville cast versus Scream. So Scream includes Jamie Kennedy, Nev Campbell, Skeet Ulrich, and Matthew Lillard.
I'm going Smallville.
I would rather. I would rather go Smallville over the Scream cast.
Regardless of price, yeah, Smallville over.
So
Scream.
you'd rather get it, is what you're saying?
Or are we saying the price?
Yeah,
of
the price.
Oh, wait. So would you repeat the Scream cast again?
Yes.
So Nev Campbell, you have Skeet Ulrich,
Jamie Kennedy, and Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, Smallville for me.
And then
Well, I would rather get the Smallville, but I think Scream is going to be more because I think Nev Campbell is going to be a lot, and yeah.
all right. By $10, it is Smallville.
Ooh.
Whoa!
So with that,
I'll pay the extra 10.
Yeah, I would.
so Lana Lang is 60.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Rosenbaum, 60.
I'd totally get Michael Rosenbaum.
Tom Welling, 60.
Oh, I'd totally get Michael or Tom Welling.
That's yeah.
That's a good deal.
John Glover, 60. That's
Yeah.
Lionel.
Uh-huh.
And then as far as the Scream cast goes, Jamie Kennedy, 50. And Nev Campbell, 60. And Matthew Lillard, 60. And Skeet Ulrich, 60.
I'm really surprised at the Scream cast at what their prices are, especially since they just barely had Scream 6 or something like that.
No, those should be slashed in half still.
I mean, but also you have the Nev Campbell coming back in that Twisted Metal, but who knows how popular that is going to be.
I watched the first episode for free on Peacock.
Yeah,
That's
me too.
Really good. I now need to like juggle what's it worth and how am I going to get the most money out of you watching Peacock.
You just got to wait till I feel like the whole series drops.
I think the whole series has dropped.
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
Oh.
I think it did.
I will stop for a second and say I'm not the biggest fan of the guy who plays Falcon in all,
Oh, yeah.
Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, that guy. I've just never been a fan of his characters. It has nothing to do with him on a personal level or anything like that. I just don't like the way Falcon is. I don't like the way. So I watched this one comedy movie that's on Netflix where it's like a haunted house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I didn't really like his character there. And it wasn't until Twisted Metal that I'm like, I like your character finally. It's about time you do something I enjoy. So, if you have reservations for Falcon, that's where I'd watch it. All right, we're going to do some just not plugs, but just announce the rest of them real quick. So, I have here Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
So, Gimli is $80. And then the next one is Zachary Levi, $100.
Oh, if it was $50, I'd totally do Zachary Levi.
Zachary Levi, I still feel like he's being very nice with the $100. You know,
Is it these normal prices, or is it because they're out of work right now?
But this is another reason why I cannot go to this thing. If I have to pay to meet Zachary Levi, it's just going to break my heart more. Because if we're not best friends, like first eye contact,
Now,
then
I will tell you,
my heart will just break.
From what I've heard, he is legitimately one of the nicest people in Hollywood.
Maybe he'll give you a discount.
I just want to be best friends.
You just walk into the hall and he just is like, you know what? I'm going to give you the nice face discount. $40 for a picture with me.
I'd still break a little inside because I'd be like, I love you to death from Chuck and Shazam and like everything in between. But we need to be best friends. Like, we're meant to be.
Can I get your email address?
Also, another person coming, Wayne Knight from Seinfeld.
Okay.
Newman,
Ah.
$50.
It's not
You
too
didn't say
bad.
the magic word.
And then the last two I'll mention is from Charmed. I don't know their characters in the show, but Holly Marie Combs and Stacey Dash. See, Holly is 60 and Stacey is... Oh, never mind. Stacey's the wrong name. Sorry, I meant to say Shannon Doherty. I know who she is.
Oh, okay.
So she's 60 and then Holly's 40.
So I've never been to a Comic-Con, but don't you pay to get in?
Yes.
You do.
And then you have to pay extra just to get pictures?
Yes.
That's dumb.
It really is.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if that model was at Disney World or Disneyland? Oh, picture with Mickey, $50.
Or you had to pay to get in and then you have to pay for each ride.
Yeah.
Well, what was it? Like, the only con I've ever gone to is I went to a Star Trek convention when I was like 14, 15 years old. And I got to get a picture and an autograph with the guy that was there as part of my ticket. Like, it wasn't any extra. Now, the line was...
What guy was it?
It is from Star Trek Voyager. His name is Ensign Harry Kim. I don't know what his real name is. But
Was he like a red shirt guy that dies?
no, he played in the whole series, but it was just one of those things where we were supposed to have the lady who is Deanna Troi, and I think Star Trek was trying to push Voyager because it was going to be coming out in a year or so. And so he comes in and he's just, I remember this if it happened yesterday. He's sitting there just like, so I know that you guys were like expecting, this lady, but I'm in this new Star Trek series. It's called Star Trek Voyager. I don't really know what, I don't think any of you have seen anything that I was in. He's like, I was in the Babysitters Club. I was, Veronica's boyfriend in the Babysitters Club. And I'm sitting there thinking, I wanted to see Deanna Troi. She's pretty.
I do know that there are some Star Trek people coming to this. The only one I can remember off the top of my head was it Worf?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I would recommend you just to go ahead and take a look at the FanX website for Salt Lake, and I'm just kind of surprised and a little heartbroken about everybody's
Price.
I understand that you got to make money. You're you're flying all the way here. You are working because you're sitting there talking to fans, signing autographs and all that stuff. But I just wish that they would get a cut of the entry price.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'd be even more accepting of this if it was like, oh, you get a ticket to the event and you get like 3 pictures with anybody you want for free. And then you just get like a check mark or a signature or something, or I don't know, from a security or whatever. And then you pay for the rest.
Yes.
Like, to me, that makes more sense. But other than that, it's just a con.
See, I would be more willing to do that model and I'd be happier to go do this if that was the case.
Yeah.
Because first of all, you'd get me in the door, and I'd be paying the price because it'd be like, oh, I get to have 3 and I get to choose.
Exactly. You get to choose whoever it is.
And then I feel less ill feelings towards the people that are, because I would feel like, I'm pretty sure this doesn't happen like this anymore. But like if I gave them $100 right then and there and then get a signature, I feel like my relationship with them at that point, like I don't like you anymore. Like I just feel like
Yeah, you're like, oh, just for a picture. Great.
Yeah. I feel it doesn't feel good to me. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that.
Well, we are 40 days, 3 hours, and 36 minutes away from FanX. So just in case.
Just in case. All right. We are going to continue our second, not round, but second, what do you want to call it?
Bracket.
Division.
Second bracket of the first round in our most rewatchable TV shows. So, starting it up, Loki versus Friends. I don't even think Brett needs to say anything to know which way he's voting.
I guess I'll start off. So Loki, 1 season. Great season of Marvel. Probably one of the better Marvel shows, I think.
Would you... I mean, I don't want to talk about Invasion right now, but besides Invasion...
Haven't seen that.
Okay. Every other Marvel show you have seen, would Loki be the best?
I don't know. I feel as though so far...
And I'm talking about like in the MCU specifically, because I mean, I would obviously say Daredevil's the best.
I don't really count the Netflix shows.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
I don't know. I've been, of the MCU shows on Disney Plus, I've been meh at best for the shows. I feel as though Invasion started off good, and I was not impressed with the end fight scene. I think that there's massive problems with everything. I thought Moon Knight would have actually been good, but my biggest problem is it's called Moon Knight, occasionally featuring Moon Knight.
Yep.
So, and it's just like, I don't know. One of my friends said it perfectly. Like, he actually has pieced out. He just, at the end of Endgame, he was just like, okay, I'm done. Like, he just walked away.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, oh.
Good timing.
I'm like, so far you haven't been disappointed. So,
I mean, some Spider-Man fans might disagree.
I was like, I told him, I'm like, no, you need to watch No Way Home. And he goes, no, I walked away.
Tall. I think as far as the show goes, Friends, to me, is obviously got more content. It's more than 1 season. It's got a lot of good jokes in it. It's like the How I Met Your Mother of the 90s. Of course, it's the one that I feel like set off that. Well, Seinfeld kind of set off. There might have been something before Seinfeld too.
Cheers. Then it went Seinfeld. Then it went Friends.
Yeah.
And then it went Two Guys in a Pizza Place.
That was very shortly lived. I feel like people are like, "What is that?" And they're like, "That's Ryan Reynolds in there." And people are like, "What? Ryan Reynolds was on a TV show?"
If you brought that title up today, people would be like, "Wait, that's a thing."
I had high hopes for that show, and
I remember watching it. I mean, Friends is so engraved in pop culture.
It is.
I mean, it is still hot today.
Mm-hmm, it really is.
It's one of those things where like people jump streaming services depending on where Friends is.
I know, right?
When Netflix has it, people like Netflix will see an increase in subscriptions.
Mm-hmm.
Then I believe currently Max has it. And so like what was it in some investor meetings? They're like, Max is currently one of the few streaming services that is making money, not losing money. And it's like, is it because of Friends?
Well, Max, how weird is Max that they bought the rights to Friends? They bought the rights to Big Bang Theory, 2 productions that aren't, I don't think, any relationship to their own.
No, because Big Bang is CBS.
Yes, yeah, it should be on Paramount.
Yeah.
That was one of the sad things when I got my first subscription to Paramount. I was like, no Big Bang. And then for some reason, the fact that it's on Max and I never watch it, but if it was on Paramount, I probably would watch it. I don't know why.
It doesn't matter for me for those two. I have them both on DVD. So
Well, see, and that's where I'm going. Like, I'm making a list of rationale for either keeping HBO Max or ditching it at the end of the month when my subscription comes up. And that is my thing. Like, I literally have enough, probably as much content, unwatched content on DVDs and whatnot, not counting the watch content that I could rewatch to kind of not justify continuing on with HBO Max because, yeah, I have these things.
I'm justifying right now Amazon right now. Amazon Prime.
Oh, Amazon Prime's easy to justify because it comes with your free shipping.
Yeah.
I know. I'm still justifying trying to keep it.
If it did not come with your shipping, I would never want it.
Yeah.
Because Amazon Prime, the app, we've talked about it before. I hate it.
Yeah.
Its layout and like what is free and what is not free. I hate that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway,
But-
I'm gonna vote Friends because of its iconicness and I have watched it all the way through. It is funny. Loki, I don't think it's as rewatchable because it's an action, it's comedy, but like there's something about sitcoms that make them more rewatchable because do they have a phrase for this or whatever it is? Like when every episode is almost kind of like a standalone, yeah.
They're like they're misadventures of these group of 6 people
Yeah.
doing random strange things, and it's. I mean, they have more of the of the part 1, part 2 episodes than like than Seinfeld did. So I'll go Friends.
Yep, me too.
What are we talking about?
Loki or Friends?
We have Taylor here.
Oh, Loki all the way.
Oh, you're coming in and ruin this?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
So Brett, you're going Loki?
Oh, I'm going Friends.
Oh, really?
I will start going Marvel stuff when Marvel stops disappointing me.
Don't hold your breath.
We're doing specifically most rewatchable.
The thing with Friends is it's not aging as well.
I don't age well, so we cannot age well together.
Touché. Okay.
All right, so Friends moves on. And I'm kind of surprised, Brett.
Yeah. I'm
All-
not. Ooh.
All right, Lie to
Oh.
Me versus Just Shoot Me. Now, Krilo, you haven't seen Lie to Me, right?
No,
Fantastic first season.
just like Prison Break.
You're just like Prison Break, except it could have been a good second season. Like, it's not like Prison Break where it's like, all right, you're out of the prison, what now?
The second season was okay.
But it was during the writer's strike.
It was. And then this third season was just like the ultimate mail-in job.
Yep. That was just garbage. Yeah, that's right. About halfway through second season, yeah, it just went downhill. And then Just Shoot Me. I haven't watched it all the way through, but I mean, it is funny. This one's a hard one for me
I'm
Because-
going Just Shoot Me.
because like I feel like the quality of Just Shoot Me, at least from what I can recall, is like not like it's not A-list like Friends or Seinfeld or How I Met Your Mother, but it is funny. Lie to Me's got some bad seasons, and it's got a really good first season.
Yeah, really good first season.
I got to go with Just Shoot Me.
Just Shoot Me.
I think the average, the fact that it's
Just Shoot Me is the David Spade one, right?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause of David
I'm,
Spade.
I'm definitely going to go with that because of David Spade and also the the grandpa from the Goldbergs is in Just Shoot Me.
Yep. And then there's also the Never Give Up,
Yeah.
Never Surrender,
I was just about to say that.
who's also in Person of Interest, which is a fantastic show. All right. I don't think, Criddle, you've seen the first one. Spy? You need to watch that one. That one is on Hulu, if I remember correctly. It is a BBC show. It is really funny.
It's 2 seasons, and it is fine that it is only 2 seasons.
Yes.
It is fantastic. Oh, my word. The Examiner is,
Oh, yes.
he makes the entire show.
The long story short of it, this is that So this guy, he goes in for like a government job, and he accidentally becomes a spy.
Yeah, an FBI or MI5 agent.
Yeah. And so it's just a ridiculous thing. And then all the characters are ridiculous. The best I know that Brett really likes, and I like too, is so they switched out one of the characters, like the people who plays him.
Mm-hmm.
And what did he say, Brett?
So the guy that's the spy in the first season, you know, he's constantly trying to get back with his wife, but his wife is seeing somebody else, and the boyfriend is blonde and blue-eyed. And then so the season opener for season 2, they're in a group psychologist's office, and they're sitting there just talking. And then the main guy just goes, and I can't remember what his name is. I'm just going to say Jerry. He goes, and Jerry, I think you've changed. And it's a red-headed guy with a big old beard. And he goes, nope, I've always been the same. And then everybody goes, yep. Like, and just they move on.
So Spy is a great show. Also, the fun thing about it is his son is a jerk.
Oh, his son is
so devious. He's an intelligent jerk.
Because he goes to a private school, or basically, I don't know if all of them are private in England, whatever. But, you know, he goes to this boarding school or whatever, and he's constantly running schemes on everybody.
And he's a jerk to his dad.
And then the dad's best friend, because they both worked at like a Best Buy together. They were like Geek Squad.
It's exactly like Chuck and Morgan from the show Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hilarious. Anyways, Spy's going up against Everybody Loves Raymond. Which it's funny that, so I have on here the Rotten Tomatoes is 100. They don't have the audience score for anything, but so 100 for Rotten Tomatoes for Spy. And then nothing for Rotten Tomatoes for Everybody Loves Raymond as far as the critics go, but the users are 85. So it's kind of interesting. Numbers are switched there. But Everybody Loves Raymond. I enjoy it. I really like, I mean, it's once again not as good as those higher tier sitcoms, but it is still reliable. You know what you're going to get. It's enjoyable. Certain things are played out way too much, but it is still, like, I remember watching episode after episode. And do you remember, Brett, when we were in line for Best Buy, when, like, so back in Black Fridays?
Oh, yeah.
Black Fridays, you had to wake up at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. to get in a good slot in the line.
I remember those days.
And so we were behind this couple that brought a portable DVD player or laptop or something. And they were just watching Everybody Loves Raymond the whole time.
Yeah, that was the first time I've ever seen Everybody Loves Raymond.
That's a great way to tell.
So, yeah, it was good times. I will vote. I think if Everybody Loves Raymond for me was going against somebody else, it probably would move on. But I'm saying Spy because Spy is just a great.
I'm saying Spy.
I guess I'll give a nod to Everybody Loves Raymond.
Alrighty. All right. Next one here is 24 versus Stranger Things. This is a mean one. Most rewatchable. I think we all seen 24. I haven't seen all of them.
I've seen.
You haven't seen 24?
I've seen all
I
of
have
24.
not seen 24.
At all.
I know the concept of it,
Yeah.
and I know there's quite a few seasons of it, but Stranger Things to me, you could tell me whatever you want about 24. Stranger Things is just so rewatchable, and I'm looking forward to the final season coming up.
So
I love the characters.
Just out of curiosity, what is your favorite season of Stranger Things?
I know mine. Mine is the last one.
I don't know, maybe 3 or 4.
3 or 4. The reason why I ask is, like, a lot of people love 1, love 2, find 3 bad.
3 is the
And
Russian one, right?
3 is a Russian.
There's nothing bad
I
about it.
like
No.
I
I
like
liked it.
3. So I was just kind of curious because I'm like, no, like I love that it takes place in a mall too.
I think 2 is my least favorite.
I agree with that. 2 is my least favorite. I don't really care for the story about the big spider guy and like the connection with, man, I'm forgetting people's names. The boy.
Mike.
Will.
Oh.
Mike.
Is it
Will?
no,
Will.
Yeah, it's Will.
Will.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that whole story. And then, of course, it has one of the dumbest scenes known to mankind. when Samwise Gamgee, wherever his real name is, I forget, Sean Austin,
Yeah.
sees his love and is running out of that building that's filled with all these monsters and stops and goes, "Oh, there's my beautiful girlfriend. I love her." And then just gets eaten. Rawr.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been out long enough. And it's just like, it's like nobody's going to stop if the building's going to explode and like, "Oh, there's my girlfriend."
It's like, or because didn't they like kind of somewhat defeat one of them, and then he was just kind of happy with himself, and he just
Bob.
Bob, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they didn't. I mean, they may have defeated one, but they were still running.
Yeah.
They were still like actively running.
But it was almost like he was happy with himself for what he did, and look, there's my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And there's my heart being ripped out by Demogorgon.
I just wonder either A, the writers, but then B, it's the director who ultimately decides what's in the show.
Yeah.
Like, can't we just like edge this out a little bit, or he dies in a more,
Heroic manner.
heroic,
Kind
yes.
of like the guitar player.
Exactly. That's a great way to go. But yes. So back to this. So 24. Criddle, you need to see it. Brett knows all the good seasons, so you can skip all the bad seasons.
1, 2, 3, 4. Stop there.
Is it 4? That's like, which one's the pinnacle? I think it's 4. I thought 5 was a good one
I
too.
think
isn't
5 was a good one. Around 6 is when it got really weird, and then they're just like, "Oh, hey, it's slowly not being believable that a whole bunch of bad stuff happens to wherever Jack is located." Because the first one he's in I think the first 2 he's in California, and then he moves to Washington D.C. and then they're like, "Hey, now it's getting a little bit more unbelievable. So now let's move him to New York because it will make it more believable that it's happening in New York." It's just like,
Now, isn't like the concept of the show just 24 is each episode is 1 hour
Yeah.
in that
Yep.
day?
Mm-hmm.
So really,
It's a
5
real-
seasons is 5 days.
real time. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
He's had really crummy days, as Brett says.
Yeah. I mean,
crummy hours.
what you have to do suspension of disbelief is just believe that at least once a year, 364 days of his life are fine. Just one day out of the year, there's a 24-hour period where everybody dies and gets kidnapped.
We all have those days.
we all have a really bad day. And if the rest of his 364 days are great, that's kind of not a bad job.
You know what would have been great is if one of the days was like on his birthday. He's like, you know what? I really wasn't looking forward to turning 40, but I'm turning 50. This is less depressing now. I'm having a good day.
Dun, 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 dun. I can't do the clock noise, obviously. I'm gonna vote rewatchability. Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, Stranger Things, especially because I believe, what is it? Not retro stuff, but what is it? What does Stranger Things do?
Oh, like nostalgia.
Nostalgia is a
Oh, yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And Stranger Things does it well.
And
It
they
does.
they bring it in a really nice way too.
Yep.
Like it's not overly saturated with nostalgia.
Oh yes, it's just sprinkled.
It's just sprinkled.
Yep.
And you really like the characters a lot.
Oh,
All right, next one is Top Gear versus Alice in Borderland. And specifically, we're going to say the United Kingdom Top Gear, not American. And it's only the seasons that have Jeremy. I can't remember the other two's name.
what's his name? Let's see, Clarkson.
Yeah.
yeah.
Jeremy Clarkson and, oh gosh, why can't I think of the
James May.
James May and then the
Richard Hammond. There we go.
All three of them.
I already have my vote, so go for it. You guys go.
Have you seen Top Gear?
Nope.
Oh man.
I will say this. I like Top Gear when they do their specials.
Oh, why do you think I own all of their specials on DVD?
Yes.
Oh, I absolutely love their specials.
I don't care so much for the other stuff. The other stuff is good, but it's not as great as their specials are.
Well, I mean, some of the stuff that they do, kind of like when they made their hybrid car. I mean, that is just hysterical. But I mean, it's obvious.
Whenever they're doing shenanigans kind
yeah.
of stuff, that's when it's fun. When it's actually real car talk, I'm like, meh, 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 meh.
Yeah. But it's easily hands down Alice in Borderland.
Yes.
I
Alice in
mean,
Borderland is way.
so good.
I'm sure that's what you're going for, Criddle.
Alice in Borderland.
Alrighty.
I can't wait for the next season.
Better Off Ted versus Silo. Have you seen either of those, Criddle?
Gosh, I haven't seen none of these, so you guys are gonna have to convince me.
Okay, Criddle. So Better Off Ted was the first show I have ever binged. And on Netflix. Like, I remember when Netflix was new and it kind of had all that content that you're like, what is this? I've never heard of any of these shows. And then I was like, oh, I'll give this Better Off Ted a chance. And I watched it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is hysterical. It is just like, so Portia de Rossi, that's her name, right? So she's the boss at this multinational, whatever it's called, international, I don't know.
The company.
The company. And so she just has this stoic attitude, but always has a smile on her face. And her underling, Ted, who is a manager of everybody, who's got to keep everything operational, just has all these goofballs as employees. And he himself is kind of, I don't know, he's different. He is like the goofy madman.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it, because he's super confident. He is a single dad, but he's not only super confident, but he's super optimistic. But he's also realistic, knowing that every single thing at this company does horrible, horrible things.
Yes.
But I'm in marketing, so I have to market this.
Yes. And this company is, yes, doing horrible things, but they're always trying to put a good spin on everything. I love their commercials.
The commercials are the best. Yeah. It's also, I just barely looked up because for the longest time, so I bought the first season on DVD and they've never released the second season on DVD, which is weird, but currently it's available to stream on Hulu.
So, funny thing. So, first episode, Criddle, for you and listeners, they freeze one of their scientists to test out, what is it called? Cryogenically freezing somebody. And he's not supposed to wake up for I don't know how long in the future. But like the janitor accidentally, as he's like mopping, unplugs the machine. And the next episode, he wakes up and he just screams randomly. Or makes this horrible noise like randomly, and you don't know when it's coming. And that's his side effect for like this whole thing. And
did it happen again? It happened again.
It's just a good show.
We couldn't do it to or we had to do it to Lem. We couldn't do it to Phil because Phil's black. You don't know how that would look to the company?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I mean, this may not be super PC with today's people, but I like the episode where the motion detectors for like the what are they, the water fountains?
Well, no,
they're only
no, it's the lights. So
the lights.
When you walk in, well, it's anything. So
it's anything, yeah. They have sensors for all like lights and the water fountains. I think even elevators too.
Yeah.
That for some reason it doesn't see black people. It only sees white people. So the company decides this would be like, okay, what we'll do is we'll hire more white people to follow around the black people so things work. And then they're like, well, if we do that by the end of because then we'd have to hire black people to make up for how many white people we're hiring.
Yeah, to make it equal.
And by the end of the month, we'll be hiring the whole world. They're like, well, we can't afford that. It's just so funny.
So then they went back to just turning on lights using the light switches.
Yes. That's a good show. And then Silo. Silo is more of a drama on, what is it, Apple?
Uh-huh.
And it's intriguing. It's a less intense 24, except not all bad things are happening. It's just an action drama. Good story. I don't think rewatchable.
I think Better Off Ted then.
Yeah, Better Off Ted.
Yep. Comedies are always going to be more rewatchable in my book. Heroes versus The Simpsons. Heroes, I like the scores here. So Heroes got from Rotten Tomatoes at 52. The audience gave it a 65. Simpsons got 85 from Rotten Tomatoes and 76 from the audience. I think the 76 is mainly due to that they are going downhill.
Heroes season 1 was fantastic.
Yes, but even that, I don't even know if I could rewatch it. Like, I mean, I could do it now because I've forgotten it. But after I watched it, and like, how long would it be until I watch it again?
Right. But I mean, I think, and this is also, I mean, it happened then where it was the writer's strike.
Yes.
And so the show really just took a big dive after that. So, I mean, but then The Simpsons, I mean, after season like 13 or 14, it starts to go downhill. And like, they're on what, season 33 right now,
Something
or 44?
like
so, I mean, that to me that's a lot of content to not have to go through.
I bet you the reason why The Simpsons is still around is it gets enough viewership, and they probably have it hammered out all the details on how to make this. So they're probably super efficient at making it now. And so it probably makes, for the spot that whatever time slot it's in, it's probably still making them pretty good money.
Yeah.
I'm sure Fox is looking at that going, well, we're already through 30 seasons in. Let's just keep going.
Yes, and then you have your name tied to it. Fox this channel has the longest running, cartoon of all time, and one of the longest running shows of all time.
Like I think I enjoy Futurama more than I do Simpsons.
Yes, if you go the whole of Futurama from season 1 to where they are now, compared to Simpsons from season 1 to where they are now, Futurama 100%. But if you break Simpsons down to their best seasons, like was it 3 to 9, 8, something like that, and to Futurama now, that's where it would get hairy for me.
Yeah, that'd be a little more of a discussion.
Yeah. So I here's how I look at it. Heroes season 1 versus Simpsons series 2 through 9. That's because around
still.
And The Simpsons still.
Yeah, but I mean that's what I'm versing it as. I'm not looking at it as the entirety.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Simpsons 2 through 9, and the only reason why I say 9 because I think you're somewhat right around 13, but I think 9 up until I think the jump the shark moment for Simpsons was Who Shot Mr. Burns.
Yes,
That was great.
I agree. I didn't even know what that was in reference to at that age.
Neither did
watching.
I, and that was like pop culture when I was a kid. So, yeah, I'm gonna go Simpsons.
All right, all in on Simpsons. All right, last one here: Leverage versus Home Improvement. Have you seen Leverage, Criddle?
I have not.
I'm thinking you like it.
Yeah, I think you'd like it.
It's like taking all these people who are where they were bad in a history, right, in their life.
Yeah, everybody has certain skills. So one of them is basically kind of like your tough guy, kung fu Chuck Norris type person. One of them is a hacker. The other one is like your
Cat burglar.
And the other one is she wants to be an actress, but she does too well of basically there's a terminology.
Con artist.
Yeah, con artist, yeah. And then, of course, the brains of the whole thing is the only one who's not evil, but he's doing it out of revenge because the insurance company that he worked for did not pay the medical bills and allowed his son to die. And so now he is seeking revenge on it's basically
It's a Robin Hood story.
It's a Robin Hood story, yeah.
It's like taking from the rich and the evil and making things right. Helping out, trying to find a good cause to help somebody out. And then it's kind of like, what's that one show? This is where they, make a house for people that, are underprivileged or something like that.
Oh,
they do the big reveal.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but for like con artists.
Exactly.
They find a sob story and they go and they make their lives better. And so Home Improvement, obviously super 90s, like nostalgic there. I watched tons of that. I don't know if I watched every episode, but I've watched pretty darn close to every episode.
I remember there was one episode that aired where they sent out in the newspapers 3D glasses.
Oh, really?
And then they did a 3D episode.
Huh. I don't remember this.
So you've seen basically most of both of them.
Yep.
Have you rewatched either one of them?
No, but I did see that they had like a Leverage reboot that I've been interested in to see.
Yeah. The sad part about it is the first season they bring everybody back, and then the main black guy goes, okay, well, I'm gonna let my niece take over for me, and it was just like, okay, and so it was okay. But then I think his career didn't go the way it meant to, and so he came back and his niece left in the second season of the new series.
Out of that whole cast, he's the one that keeps popping up here and there.
Yeah.
That in shows I see. I'm trying to think. I think I have to watch the comedic show. I have to rewatch Home Improvement.
See, I find Leverage comedic. I think there's so many great one-liners. And for me personally, and maybe this is just a taste thing, I have rewatched Leverage probably about as many times as you've rewatched Supernatural.
Wow, that's impressive.
And
I've only done it once.
I've never really enjoyed Home Improvement. I remember being in junior high with a brand new episode of Home Improvement. Everybody's just sitting there talking about it, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, oh, Tim Allen's character did something stupid? Okay.
That's par for the course.
I'm like, however, my favorite thing about Home Improvement is when they kind of merged those characters with Last Man Standing. Now, if it was Leverage versus Last Man Standing, I would have to go Last Man Standing. I think the chemistry amongst all of the characters, even the obnoxious husband. Oh,
The obnoxious. Oh, gotcha. I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about now. I'm gonna go. You took me on a tangent here. So Last Man Standing, I think is about the same as Home Improvement as far as quality, maybe a little bit less. I love the first season cast. I wish that they didn't change that. Well, but I guess the only person they changed was the middle daughter.
yeah.
Wasn't there anybody else? No, I guess that's it. But yeah, I gotta go Home Improvement. So it sounds like you're going Leverage.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Home Improvement.
All right. So I'm just gonna read off what we're gonna have once we get around to the next round for this. So Spy versus Stranger Things, Alice in Borderland versus Better Off Ted, Simpsons versus Home Improvement, which I believe they were both on Fox, weren't they?
Yep.
Yeah, Home Improvement was on Fox.
No,
right?
Home Improvement was actually on NBC, but they did the reruns on Fox.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that's two Fox, but they were going on at the same time. Well,
Oh, yeah.
everything went on during Simpson time. I guess that's unfair to say, but during the heyday of the good years of Simpsons.
Yes.
All right, so that wraps this up. Let's move on to our recommendation. So my recommendation is, well, now I'm just sad a little bit about my recommendation because Brett, I am one episode away from finishing Invasion.
Oh,
So I thoroughly enjoy it right now. So
Okay.
if episode 6 tanks it, I will let you know. But I was like, yeah, I'm into this. It's when I watched it. So I watched the 5th episode last night, and when they're like, which I love that British lady. I think she's great. Like does the torturing and stuff.
She is fantastic.
But she's like, why don't you call your friends? And I'm like, oh, it's about time somebody brought this up. I'm like, I know why, as somebody who follows Marvel, like they're not going to be able to afford them or their contracts are done, all that stuff. So it's like, yes, I know they're not coming. But at least somebody asked the question, why aren't you going? I was like, this is my mistake. I need to clean it up. It's like, it's a subpar answer. It's like, come on. You're talking about annihilation of the whole human race, and this is my mess. I'm not going to get any superheroes. I'm like, that's kind of a weak sauce answer.
Yeah.
But I still recommend Invasion. It's a good show. Samuel L. Jackson's fun to watch. His grumpiness, though, is something else, though. I'll say that much. But yeah, that's what I recommend.
All right.
Okay. I'm gonna recommend something. Last week I played around with a new food item I've never played with before at work.
Play-Doh.
It's non-toxic.
That's a plus.
Is it though? But we
Hold
had
on.
some.
Can I interrupt you?
Yeah.
Sorry. If Play-Doh made their food taste like something and made it not just non-toxic, but like edible, think of how much money they could make. Because those kids would be eating that stuff by the
Hey, look,
pound.
I made fries.
Sorry, go back.
That's an interesting conversation for another day.
Yeah.
So I've been dealing. I've had to make some special diet meals, and there were like 6 kids that required each something special, something unique, whether it was gluten free, whether it was vegan or something. And so I decided to make something that would fit all the categories.
Okay.
So that way it's just one item for all of them. And so I played around with a new item I'd never played around before. It's called jackfruit.
Oh yeah, I've heard of jackfruit.
I've never heard of this.
So it's a fruit that stinks, but and it's very sticky. But when you play around with it, it can give you the texture of pulled pork.
Oh wow.
And so that's what I did is I made a sweet pork sauce, and I cooked it with the jackfruit, and I made it look like pulled pork, and I made a sweet pork taco with some cabbage, some jalapenos, and it was actually really good.
Really?
Like I mean, if you've ever had the sweet pork from like Costa Vida or Cafe Rio, it tasted like that. But I mean, it was with jackfruit, so it was 100% vegan, 100% gluten free,
Wow.
and I gave them that for lunch.
Did they like it?
Haven't heard back, but if there were complaints, they would
Tell their
voice them.
mom.
They
Their
would,
mom would tell you.
yeah. But I mean, I had some staff try it, and they said they really liked it. They couldn't hardly tell that it was. I mean, it tasted like pulled pork. So if you're
how did you get the flavor to taste like pulled pork?
so the jackfruit will absorb whatever flavors you give it, because like on its own it stinks.
Oh, got you.
But like when you make a sauce for it, it absorbs it really well, and it takes on the flavor.
So is it vegan then if you use like pork sauce?
It was vegan, yeah, because the ingredients I used to make the sweet pork was all vegan.
Oh, okay. So was there like some like pork flavoring?
No,
I'm very confused.
no pork flavoring at all. But
You just mixed
It wasn't. It didn't taste like pork.
Okay.
But it had the texture of pork.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if you're looking for a pork alternative to be a little healthier, jackfruit is the way to go.
Is it timely? Like, because you said you had to play with it and all that stuff.
It was the very first time I played with it, and it was kind of it was a one shot, and it ended up working out.
Okay. How big is a jackfruit?
Jackfruits range in size. I mean, I've seen some as big as watermelons.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, if you want to make your life even easier, you can find some frozen, or you can find some in a can.
Interesting. Never heard of this. The more you know.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. So my recommendation, I want to give it to, this is basically more or less kind of, well, for Jeremy for the immediacy, because it is tied to HBO Max, which I might not have a subscription.
No.
But I'm going to do something that we've never done on one recommendation. I'm going to give you an introductory quote, and then I will give you my recommendation. So the quote goes, Question 1. You're in Prague. A sniper is at the window above you. There's an alligator behind you and a grizzly bear in front of you. What do? Do you back somersault, pry off the alligator's jaw, use it as a boomerang, taking out the sniper? When the sniper falls out the window, the grizzly bear will go straight for the easier meal? The answer is C. So the show is The Venture Brothers. It is...
Is this like a cartoon?
It is a cartoon. Okay. It massively spoofs lots of pop culture, but mainly it spoofs, if you've ever seen the TV series Johnny Quest. I used to watch Johnny Quest as a kid. It was one of those Hanna-Barbera shows. But it massively spoofs him. But it is so funny because Patrick Warburton plays the doctor's bodyguard, Brock, and he's hysterical. The evil, the arch nemesis of the Doctor is Professor Monarch, who is the most incompetent villain to have, and it just goes from one insane episode to another insane episode. At times, you're just like, I don't think they're ever going to do a reprieve of, like, follow up on the events that just occurred in this episode. And they don't. Sometimes it'll just be like, oh, that happened. Like at one point in time, a character dies and you're just like, wait, the character's right there.
They just don't even.
Are they do answer it eventually, but everybody just plays it off like nothing.
I'll have to watch that then. I've been looking for a show to watch because right now I'm watching Secret Invasion with my son. I'm watching Hijacked with my wife, and so I need a show for me because often I find myself like, oh, I'm all alone.
I mean, it's one of those things where as you're watching it, you're just like, oh, that's a Scooby-Doo spoof right there. And you're like, and then a little while later, you're like, oh, that's a spoof on like
Does Dan Harmon have his hand in it?
No.
Oh.
But it is done so clever. Like I do recommend giving it a couple of episodes because like the first episode is super grainy because obviously it was made for standard TVs in the early 2000s. So the first episode, the pilot episode, is not that good in format, but the rest of them for the couple of seasons are your standard box format until, they finally do full screen for widescreen TVs. But it is so fun, and just the oddity of everything, and especially when you can catch like a pop culture reference, or especially a pop culture reference of the time, which the show starts in, I believe it first aired in 2002. So that is my one recommendation, The Venture Brothers.
One show that I'm going to just plug real quickly that I want to hopefully recommend in the future is Strange Planet. Have you seen the trailer for that? It's on Apple TV. It is a Dan Harmon. It's a new cartoon, and it's just this alien planet that takes what we do, like that. I mean, they're acting normal to them. They're not spoofing us, but it is spoofing our culture. Like I'll give you one scene of it. So, they're at like a Starbucks kind of thing. They're like, would you like the small jitter cup that'll jitter you for 2 hours, or would you like the big jitter cup that'll jitter you for 6 or 8 hours? And it's just like, making fun of coffee there. And then like, then the person throws confetti on a different scene and says, tiny garbage. It's just like being very like just describing what we use, but in a very weird way, like in a very serious, like not serious way, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Not giving it these names of coffee and confetti and stuff like that. So I hope to give that recommendation soon. I will let you know later this week.
Excellent. All right.
Well, see ya.